I'm going to take a look at Apple. So we got a bit of a bounce yesterday, but over the next couple of days, possibly the rest of this week, could be some sideways chop, maybe a little bit of weakness. So we're just looking into why that is. So on my dashboard here, let's have a look at the VIX. The VIX has been pretty good actually. So, but it looks like it's caught a little bit of support here. The options action on the VIX actually is there's been quite a lot of put buying. So not expecting the VIX to move too far too far up, and should really, if the puts are accurate, we should start seeing it dip down. Now this dip may only really kick in after some news events have gone through the system. So some GDP data, but the one that the Fed really watches for how its decision-making policies around rates are impacted. It really follows this data here as well, this data in particular. So we could see that for the rest of the week, because we've got some high impact news, we could see some chop sideways, possibly a little bit of volatility as well. So going to watch the VIX, but the expectation of the VIX is, while it may do a little pop, actually expecting it to either sort of stay where it is or just dip further down. In terms of pre-market, the market is not looking too hot really, but it's a little bit of weakness relative to where we finished at the close. We did get, if we look at Apple, we did get a flush down to the 170, kind of below 180, but then all these algos were signaling that there's actual underlying buying going on, and the volume momentum as well picked straight up and has stayed pretty much elevated, which is good. That's a good sign. So a little bit of weakness. Watch out for the data bombs to work their way through the system. If we do get a pop, really not expecting. I mean, we could clear the 183, 184 on Apple. There's quite a lot of resistance on a higher time frame at the 185 area. So sideways push up. There was quite, again, going into the close yesterday, there was quite a lot of bullish order flow on the options. So thinking that there's been a bit of a shift in sentiment. I think that's because Apple decided it was going to cut its Apple Car division and transfer most of the jobs over to their AI division. So that could have been the low for Apple. We won't know that for a while, especially as we are looking at, I posted this on my Twitter account. We are here in a seasonal window, so we're about here somewhere. So we're going into the low. So this bottoming area here is going out into late March, early April, and then we kind of should see the market just slowly grind up then into the elections. So there is a chance that if Apple can at least stay sideways, maybe kind of do another dip down and maybe scare a few bulls, scare a few people out of position, that we're seeing, yeah, we could be seeing the bear trap in place now. So definitely not bearish, even though we've got a little bit of weakness at the open. But it's all going to depend on some of the economic data bombs that hit the market this week. And then we've also got, at the start of the following week, we're also going to have some employment data as well, which the non-farms in particular is one that is heavily watched for potential impact on rates. All right, so fairly bullish. Also, in the next couple of days, going to be looking at Meta, actually, because we entered a trade with Meta. and that's because if I just get rid of this gap and then another gap, it's not bearish. So it could be that what Meta is doing is it's kind of basing underneath the 500 level, and it's a big number, 500. So it might take a little while. We could get a little test going out into April, May. So entered a swing long on that yesterday. Depending on how we get on with data bombs and maybe closing this gap, that's always a possibility to watch out for. Not sure about closing this gap, but you never know. We could dip into it a little bit maybe, but actually the options action is looking for a test of the 500 over the next month or two. So into the swing, so going to keep track of Meta as well, looking very bullish, especially in an election year when they are likely to get a lot of people advertising on their platform to push election messages all around the world. Okay, let's keep up with hopefully the scaring of the bulls and scaring of the bears. A little bit of a slip there. Scaring of the bears and get the bulls all bulled up and buying Apple and a bit of Meta.